Hi everybody, this is Crystal. So today I'm going to show you how to make this hat here. Now it's made with crossing cables, as you can see them. Now this is an intermediate pattern. I would not recommend it for a beginner unless you're extremely familiar with post stitches and cross them and cable stitches. Otherwise it might be a little bit difficult if you're just starting out. But you're more than welcome to give it a try. It's got the pom pom on it. The top, the pom pom is detachable. It's just hooked with a button underneath, so you can take it off if you don't want it, or take it off to wash your hat and then put it back on. You can leave the pom pom off if you want. I do want to mention though, if you consider yourself a tight crocheter, I would recommend going up one hook size than what I use in the video, because I don't consider myself a tight crocheter. But if you think that you crochet tight, or you know that you do, definitely go up one hook size on this pattern. Other than that though, if you don't crochet tight, just go ahead and follow along with the hook that I use. So let's go ahead and get started on this. Okay, for this project, I am using Redheart Super Saver. It's just a medium weight 4-ply, almost 100% acrylic. It's got the Flecks in it, which makes it the non-acrylic. It's other fibers. But the color I'm using is called Buff Fleck. And let's see, there are 260 yards in one skein, and one will be enough to make the hat. You do not have to use this yarn. Any medium 4 weight will work. And then I have a pom pom, which I'm going to be putting on. I got this pom pom on Amazon, like a pack of 12 of them for like $12, I think, or $10 or $12, I can't remember. So you can use this, you can leave a pom pom off, or you can make your own. And then I'm going to be using a size I, which is a 5.5mm crochet hook. Alright, I just want to take a second to ask you not to forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. If you check in the description box of this video or any of my videos, you'll see an auto subscribe link. Just click on that link and you'll never miss any of my tutorials. So you want to start out with a slip knot on your hook. And then we're going to work a chain of 4. Now you can use the magic circle here if you prefer. But once you get your chain of 4 done, I'm going to go ahead and slip stitch into the first stitch to form a ring. Just like that. And now I'm going to chain 1. Now that chain 1 does not count as a stitch. Now we're going to be working through the center of our ring here, and we want to work 12 double crochets through the center. So go ahead and yarn over, go right through the center of the ring and drop a loop. And then go ahead and do your double crochet as normal. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and you just want to work around until you get a total of 12. Okay, I've made it around and I have my 12 double crochets. Now you can pull your tail, and then you usually close up that center circle quite a bit, and then you can just sew it together at the end. What we're going to do to end round 1 is we're going to slip stitch into our very first double crochet. And now you'll have 12 double crochets. Round 2, we're going to chain 1. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go right back into that same spot right there, if you pull it apart, that you just slip stitched into. And we're going to work 2 double crochets into that stitch. So there's 1 and 2. Now we're going to work around, putting 2 double crochets in every stitch until we get back to the beginning. 2 in the next. And then 2 doubles into the next. All the way around. until we get back here. Okay, I've made it to the end of round 2, and you should have 24 stitches now. And we're going to go ahead and end round 2 by slip stitching into our first double crochet. Just like that. Round 3, we're going to chain 1. We're going to put 1 double crochet right back into that very first stitch that we slip stitched into. Now the next stitch, we're going to put 2 double crochets into the same stitch. That. And now we're going to repeat that. 1 double crochet into the next stitch. And then the next stitch you'll get 2 double crochets into the same stitch. So that was 1. And here's 2. 1 double crochet into the next stitch. And 2 double crochets into the next. So we're going to repeat this pattern all the way around. 1 double, 2 doubles, 1 double, 2 doubles, 1 double, 2 doubles, all the way around until you get back to your starting point. Okay, I've made it to the end of round 3, and you should have ended where you have 2 double crochets into that last stitch. And now you should have a total of 36 stitches. So we're going to go ahead and end the round by slip stitching into our first double crochet. Round 4, we're going to chain 1. We're going to go right back into that same stitch right there and put a double crochet. And then we're going to put a double crochet into the next stitch. So there we got 2 double crochets in a row. Now the next stitch is going to get 2 double crochets into the same stitch. And then we're going to put 1 double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. So it'll be 2 double crochets in a row. So there's 1, 2, and then the next stitch you'll get 2 double crochets into the same stitch. 1 double crochet into the next 2 stitches. And then the next one will get 2 double crochets into the same stitch. And that's the repeat now. And we're going to repeat all the way around. 1 double, 1 double, 2 doubles. 1 double, 1 double, 2 doubles. All the way around until you get back to your starting point. Okay, I've made it to the end of round 4. You should have ended with 2 double crochets into that last stitch, and you should have 48 stitches now. Go ahead and end by slip stitching into your first double crochet. We're going to chain 1. Now we're going to put 1 double crochet right back into the very first stitch. And then we're going to put 1 double crochet into the next 2 stitches. So there we did 3 double crochets in a row, counting that first one. Now the next one is going to get 2 double crochets into the same stitch. And now we're going to put 1 double crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. So there's 1, 2, 3, and then the next stitch we'll get 2 double crochets into the same stitch. There's 1 and 2. Repeat it. 1 double crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. There's 1, 2, 3, and then 2 double crochets into the next. And that's what we're going to repeat all the way around. 1 double into the next 3, and then 2 doubles into the next. 1 double into the next 3, 2 doubles into the next, all the way around until you get back to the beginning. Okay, I have made it to the end of round 5. Your last stitch should have been 2 double crochets. 60 stitches now, and you want to go ahead and end by slip stitching into your first double crochet. So now we're not going to do any more increases. Now we're going to work on the main portion of the hat. So your hat will start to go down now. It will take a few rows, but so round 6, we're going to chain 1, and we're going to work 1 double crochet back into the same stitch. Now what we're going to do is we're going to skip 1 stitch, and we're going to work a front post triple into the next. So we're going to yarn over twice like we're going to do a triple crochet. We're going to skip this stitch, and we're going to go around the post of the next stitch like that. And then I always kind of squeeze it together to hold it, yarn over and pull through, and go ahead and work your triple crochet as you normally would, like that. Now what I'm going to do is go back into the stitch that we skipped. We're going to yarn over twice and do a front post triple around this stitch. So yarn over twice, go back around the post of the stitch that you skipped, squeeze your work. I think it's easier to do that, to hold it steady. Yarn over and pull through, and then work your triple crochet as you normally would. And now we're just going to put 1 double crochet into the top of the next stitch, just like that. Okay, now we're going to do that again. We're going to skip 1 and work a front post triple around the next. So yarn over twice, skip this one, go right around the post of the next one, yarn over and draw up a loop, and go ahead and work your triple crochet as normal. Now we're going to go back to this one that we skipped and work a front post triple around that one. So we're going to yarn over, go around the post of that one that we skipped, yarn over and draw up a loop, and then do your triple crochet. And then we're just going to put 1 double crochet into the top of the next stitch, just like that. Again, that's what we're going to repeat all the way around. Yarn over twice, skip 1 stitch, front post triple around the next, and now we're going to go back and front post triple around the stitch that we skipped. And then 1 regular double crochet into the top of the next stitch. I'm going to repeat it again. Front post, skip 1 stitch, front post triple around the next, and then we're going to go back right here to the stitch that we skipped and front post triple around that one. So cross over here, go right around it, and triple crochet, and then we just work 1 regular double crochet into the top of the next. So that's the pattern we're going to repeat all the way around, and you'll start to get these little cables of texture, I guess. So we're going to repeat that all the way around until you get back to the beginning. Okay, I'm coming to the end of round 6. I just did a double crochet and I have 2 stitches left. So I want to skip 1, front post triple around the next, which is actually the last one. And then I want to go back and front post triple around the one that I skipped. And then we're going to end round 6 by slip stitching into our very first double crochet. And you should still have 60 stitches now. Okay, so for round 7, we're going to chain 1 and we're going to put a double crochet right back into that very first stitch. Like that. Now here's our cables here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to front post triple around the first stitch. So right around the post of this first stitch, we do a front post triple crochet. And then we're going to front post triple crochet around the next stitch. So they're not crossed this time. Just like that. And then we just go ahead and do a regular double crochet into the top of the next stitch. So again, we come up on our cable here. You see how they're crossed from the previous row? You want to do a front post triple crochet around this first one here, around the post of it. So come up right through there, around, so you're around the post of it, and front post triple. And then we're going to front post triple around the post of the next one. Right there. And then we're going to do a regular double crochet into the top of the next double crochet. And now we're going to kind of repeat that. Now these posts will start looking better the more rows that you do. They'll start to cross and look better. So here's the cables from the previous row, or the post stitches. So we're going to yarn over twice and we're going to front post triple around the first one. Like that. And then we're going to do a front post triple around the next one. Like that. And regular double crochet into the top of the next stitch. And that's the repeat now, this time around. So we're going to yarn over twice, front post triple. Sometimes you got to pull them apart to see. Around the post of the first stitch here. And front post triple around the post of the next stitch. And then double crochet into the top of the next stitch. So I'm going to repeat that pattern all the way around back to the beginning. Okay, I made it to the end of round 7 and I did my 2 front post triples. I'm going to go ahead and end with the slip stitch into my first double crochet, and you should have 60 stitches again. Now all it is a repeat of rounds 6 and 7. So if you remember round 6, we just chained 1, double crocheted into the first stitch, and this is the one that we crossed over. So we're going to front post triple, we're going to skip 1 and front post triple around the next. And then we're going to front post triple around the one that we skipped. Like that. And now we're going to put 1 double crochet into the top of the next stitch. So this is round 8 that we're working on. We're just repeating what we did for round 6. And it's just going to make all these cross cables, repeating rounds 6 and 7. Okay, I went ahead and done a total of 14 rounds altogether, and that is starting from row 1. Now, if you want to make this longer, you can make it slouchy. You just keep doing rows for as long as you want it to. If you want to make it shorter, leave off a row or 2. You know, it's up to you. Just try it on and you determine if that's good enough for you. I like my hats just to be a little bit longer, down kind of closer to my eyebrows. Some people like them shorter than that, so you know, you can leave off a row. It doesn't really matter what row you end in. If you end in a row that crosses over or not, that's fine. I mean, either row is fine. But like I said, if you want to make it a slouchy, do a few more rows, you know, make it a little bit longer so it kind of hangs over in the back. It's up to you. It's your hat. But I did 14 rounds. So now what I'm going to do is chain 1. You should still have 60 stitches. I'm going to go back right into that same stitch and single crochet. And now I'm going to work 1 single crochet in every stitch all the way around. Just in the top of every stitch. So no more post stitches or anything. So this is round 15 that we're on. One single every stitch all the way around. Just like that until you get back around to your starting point. Okay, I've made it back around to the beginning. You should have 60 stitches still. You want to go ahead and end with the slip stitch into your first single crochet. Not the chain 1, but the single. And then I'm going to tie off. If you want to go around again and make your brim of your hat longer, that's up to you. It depends on how big you want your hat. But I'm going to go ahead and tie off here and hide my tails. Okay, now if you want to add a pom-pom, the kind of pom-pom like I have, I can show you how I'll add these. Or you can make your own, or you don't have to put one on. But like I said, these came from Amazon. And they have, some of them have buttons attached, like snap buttons that you have to sew on. And some of them have these strings. I like the ones with the strings. So what I do is I just take a small button, doesn't matter what kind, just a small one, and I sew it right at the center of the inside of my hat. It doesn't have to match, it's just because you're not going to see it. So it's sewed right underneath that center there. And now what I do is I'll just take my hook and go pull that button back and go through the center there. And then I will grab this, it's like a little ponytail holder thing that's on these pom-poms, and pull it through, and I'll attach it to the button. That way it's removable if you don't want it on there. But that's how I add these. So if you want to wash your hat, you can take your pom-pom off. Just like that. That's it. Super easy. So you can detach the pom-pom if you want. Wash it. And then put your pom-pom back on. Well, you don't have to put that pom-pom. It's up to you. But that's it. That's all there is to it. I hope you enjoyed my tutorial. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to check me out on Facebook either. I'll put a link to that below in the description. Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button in the description box, that auto subscribe. Or there's also a subscribe button that's popping up on the screen right now. If you want to go ahead and click that, that'd really help me out. So until next time, have a good day.